An early morning start to a busy day. We got to get our yogurt out of the oven and then get moving. If you want to know how we make our yogurt, check the video linked below. Hello, and welcome to Teal House Farm. We are scared of a giant plastic bug somebody's playing with back there.
Mom, I can't see when your head is in the way.
You can't see my head's in the way? Okay. Well, today we are headed to the library because we have some overdue books that we need to bring back. So one of my favorite channels, Our Tribe of Many. Okay. She always says that when she finds herself continually stressed in the same situation, she identifies the stress and figures out how to fix it, which I love that thought. And so one of my big stresses is mornings are I find them very stressful when the kids are all up at the same time and run around like crazy. And so I'm thinking, especially now that we have our new, really Whole Foods, much stricter diet, breakfasts and stuff, everything is cooked from scratch.
Daddy got a new cat.
And it's just a lot of work, and then it creates a lot of dishes, and then there's just the mornings feel absolutely out of control, and the house feels out of control by 8 o'clock in the morning. And so we've tackled that two ways. One, the kids now have designated dishwashing times that they're responsible for every day instead of just one chore in the morning, which Mommy loves this. So Annie and JJ do them after breakfast, Mommy does them after lunch, and Micah and Ivy do them after dinner, and that's every day. Except on Sundays. Mommy does all the dishes on Sundays. And then the second way is I'm going to try to pre-make freezer breakfasts, and we'll show you what we're making. I'm going to make a bunch of different things, and we'll have them in the freezer, and I'm hoping that this will take a lot of the prep work out of breakfast because all the vegetables and everything will already be chopped and things will be cooked and put up, and then they just have to be reheated so we can still have our really healthy breakfasts without all the prep work every single morning, which creates tons of dishes and a lot of time and stress. So we're gonna head to the library first, then we're gonna head to just our tiny little market store to get some things we don't have, and then we're gonna show you all the different things we're putting together. Yes, Annie?
Is Mikey and I going to do the dishes tonight?
Yes.
Mom.
Okay, so we're back and we're gonna get some things put together. So today's goal, we're gonna make 4 different things to put in the freezer. First, we're gonna make banana muffins, and we're going to do a low sugar whole wheat banana muffin that kind of matches our dietary goals. And then we're going to make some egg muffin type sandwiches, but they're going to have veggies in them as well as some sausage. And we're going to make a bunch of Fiesta Egg Burritos. Also, we'll have a lot of veggies and some black beans in it. And then we're going to make our own fruit instant oatmeal. The girls love instant oatmeal packets that you put in the microwave or just add hot water to them. The fruit and cream ones, but they have tons of sugar in them. And so we are going to make our own so we can have more control over what's in them. But they should still be shelf stable for quite a while, and we'll just leave them up above the microwave there, and the girls can just grab a cup and either add hot water to it or a little bit of water and microwave the mason jar. So it should be pretty good, and I'm really hoping this takes some of the effort out of trying to provide healthy breakfasts that meet our dietary goals, which is basically a whole foods diet, low sugar, no preservatives, those kinds of things, without creating just a ton of stress every morning, which I am really over right now at this point. So let's go ahead and get started. All the recipes are below. We'll also take you step by step in this video for each of the things that we're making, and I'll make sure to mention how to freeze and how to reheat each item so that it keeps its best quality. First up are the banana muffins, and our local grocery store sells bags of overripe bananas for $1, which is a pretty darn good deal. And a lot of these are actually still okay to eat in the next couple days. They aren't that ripe, it's more of what they look like on the outside. So I always buy lots of bags of these. The girls dehydrate them, make banana chips, and I'll make big batches of banana bread. So we're gonna need We need about 9 or 10 overripe bananas. We're gonna need 3 eggs, 3/4 cup honey, just a dash of vanilla. We'll need 3 cups of this unbleached all-purpose flour, and then 3 cups of this whole wheat flour, 3 sticks of butter, 3 teaspoons baking soda, that's not for that, and 3 teaspoons of salt. Let's get started. First, we do 3 sticks of softened butter, and I'm going to add about 3/4 cup of honey. And you can't have the refined white sugar, but honey in moderation is fine. It really helps keep the sweetness in the muffins too. 2 teaspoons of vanilla in there and cream it all together. Then we add 3 eggs. We're going to add 10 ripe or very ripe bananas. I don't bother mashing them ahead of time. I just throw them in there. They're gonna get beat up by this beater anyway. This recipe will make me 24 muffins and 2 loaves of banana bread. Honestly, I'd like to do an even bigger batch, but my KitchenAid mixer will only fit a triple batch, and that's what we're doing today. 3 teaspoons of salt, followed by 3 teaspoons of baking soda, 3 cups of the wheat flour, and 3 cups of the unbleached white flour. Be careful when you throw these in. The bowl is really full, so take it slow. Make sure it gets all mixed up super duper well, and we're ready for the pan. I'm going to use up my last few muffin tins, and then I'm going to grease the pans, and I'm going to use the butter wrappers that we just unwrapped from our sticks of butter. No reason to throw them away yet. They still have plenty of grease on them. Then we're going to go ahead and fill the cups up about halfway, maybe more like 3/4, and then we're going to bake this in the oven on 350 for about 15 minutes. The loaves, I lower the heat to 325, and I check them at 30 minutes and every 10 minutes after that until they are done. Okay, number 2, egg McMuffins. So Ivy is browning a pound of sausage for us. Then we will need 12 English muffins. We have 12 slices of cheese, some mushrooms, and some spinach, and a dozen eggs. This is pretty simple. We're going to grease our cookie sheet and get a bowl, and we're going to add a pound of brown sausage, 12 eggs, plus a cup of diced mushrooms and 2 cups of diced spinach. Mix it all up really good and pour it into the greased baking sheet. And then we're going to slide it in the oven on 350 for about 15 minutes until the eggs are cooked all the way through and not jiggly. Once the eggs have cooled off, Ivy uses the ring from a wide-mouthed mason jar to cut out circles and places the circle between 2 pieces of toasted English muffin and a piece of cheese. The recipe actually looks like it would make 3 sleeves worth of English muffins, so I think we will make more next time. Okay, number 3. We're starting to run out of room in the kitchen, but we're going to finish what we started. We are going to make Fiesta wraps, egg wraps. So we have 2 bags of these 8-inch flour tortillas. We have some tomatoes, some Colby Jack cheese we're going to shred, a dozen eggs, a can of black beans, and a can of peppers. We're going to scramble that all together. Mikey here is going to do that. Yeah, he's playing with fire, that egg there. And then we're going to wrap it up in burritos and freeze the burritos. So let's go. This one was simple. I scrambled together a dozen eggs, a half block of shredded Colby Jack cheese, a sprinkle of salt and pepper, plus about a cup of diced tomatoes, the pint of drained black beans, and the half pint of diced bell peppers, also drained, and a dash of paprika. Okay, last thing, we are going to make a bunch of pre-made oatmeal packets, especially the fruit ones that the girls really like. It's really pretty simple. I don't know why I haven't done this before, but we're gonna make a blueberry one. We're going to make an almond peanut butter one. That's for me and Sam, because we really like stuff like that. And then I think we'll actually just make those 2 this time. I didn't find any dried strawberries at the store, and the regular strawberries are really expensive, so I didn't want to buy them and dehydrate them. So we'll just make those 2 today. But you can basically use any flavors you want, and I will show you the basics right now. You will need to use instant oatmeal for this recipe. The big container of instant oatmeal is cheaper, but I have a lot of these packets in the pantry, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. It's 1 packet in each half pint jar, or about a half cup of oats into each half pint mason jar. We're then going to add a tablespoon of powdered milk, and then our toppings. Now the key here is to keep your helper from eating all the toppings directly out of the bag because they are delicious. In this case, we're going to do a handful of the dried blueberries in each one of our cups. And we're going to make a whole bunch of these because the girls absolutely love these. For the adult version, we have a handful of diced almonds, and then we're going to add a couple teaspoons worth of peanut butter powder. This is my favorite brand, and I love it because it doesn't have any added sugar. All right, we're done. We did it. It made a lot of food. which is probably gonna go a lot faster than I ever envisioned because we have a lot of people to feed, but let me show you just a real review of what we got and how we're gonna store it. First up, we have our egg and cheese McMuffins, or muffins, whatever you want to call them. And I'm just actually going to store them back in the English muffin container. No reason to waste money on Ziploc bags. We can just reuse the same bag that the muffins came out of. This recipe, I think it would have made closer to 20. There's a lot of egg left over, which I just fed to the chickens. So next time around, I'm going to buy an extra sleeve with English muffins, definitely. I did wrap them in saran wrap. You could wrap them in tin foil if you want to be able to heat them up in the oven. I thought about not wrapping them in plastic wrap at all because I don't like plastic wrap. The bees wrap doesn't work well in the freezer. It loses its stickiness, so I couldn't use that. And I was afraid if I just stacked them back in this bag without being wrapped individually, they would all stick together. So this is what I came up with. So they'll be wrapped in these English muffin bags. Okay, next we made these burritos. I actually ended up making two types. These are bacon, spinach, and cheese egg burritos, which I think will be really popular with the kids. And Sam, who doesn't like bacon, right? And I'm gonna just put these again back in the bag that the tortillas came out of. No reason to waste Ziploc bags and spend money on them. These are individually wrapped in saran wrap, again, for the same reason as the English muffins. Though I do actually think you could wrap any of these in brown paper if you wanted to. But I already had saran wrap, and the brown paper can be kind of expensive. The second burritos are the Fiesta ones with the black beans and such in them, and I'm going to use an old bread bag for saving these. I didn't quite use all the tortillas. This ended up making 18 altogether instead of 20, so I have 2 tortillas left, so that bag's not available. Okay, the banana bread muffins. This recipe made 24 muffins and 2 loaves of bread, but the kids already ate 1 loaf and a couple of the muffins for snacks, so we're already going through these. I'm just gonna go ahead and put these again in a bread bag. Just save your bread bags, guys. If you buy a loaf of bread, don't throw that bag away, okay? Just as useful as a Ziploc bag, and it's basically free, right? Because you were just going to throw it away. I cannot tell you the last time I bought Ziploc bags. Not only are they expensive, but they really aren't necessary, or rarely are they necessary. You can if you're just saving the plastic you're already bringing into your life, you're going to save yourself a lot of money, and you're going to do something better for the environment. All right, so not all of these have wrappers on them. Just kind of reaching and pulling them out. Here we go. And then for the actual loaf of bread, I'm just going to put that in its own bread bag. There we go. All right, last thing is just the Oatmeals. And these we are not going to do anything special with. We're just going to put them up on the shelf. To reheat the Oatmeals, it's going to be, you're going to add water until just above the oatmeal line. I think it's 3/4 cup of water will do it. And then we're gonna stick it in the microwave for about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes till it's cooked through. You could also just add hot water to these jars as well. So it's just as simple as an oatmeal packet you'd get for the store. For the bread or the muffins, you can microwave them, or you could just take them out of the freezer maybe an hour before you want to use them, and they'll have defrosted to room temperature. For the egg muffins, you can microwave them for about 60 seconds to 90 seconds, depending on how powerful your microwave is. Or you can put them in the oven, obviously unwrap them and heat them up that way. If you put them in the oven, I'd recommend putting like a cover over the top of all the ones you're doing so they don't dry out. And the same thing is true for your wraps. Same 60 to 90 seconds. Do be careful when you bite into these after they come out of the microwave. Microwave heat from the center, so the very centers will be very hot. You can burn yourself. And there we have it, my meal plan for the week. Every breakfast is already cooked, plus probably a couple weeks in the future. I'm hoping for at least 2 weeks, hopefully 3 weeks of breakfast off of this setup, because there's a couple days where we do cereal on Sundays because it's really crazy trying to get to church. And we'll do a couple days where we just do like fruit and our yogurt that we made at the very beginning of this video. And so all that should make that last hopefully 3 weeks. We'll see. It's always really hard for me to judge because the girls are growing and sometimes they eat half a sandwich and sometimes they eat 3. So we're just gonna play it by ear. Thanks so much for watching. Hope if you give this a try, that prepping your breakfast makes your life a little easier too, and we will catch you guys next time. Bye.